You want to know what patriarchy takes from men? It might be better to ask a man who is deconstructing patriarchy because it's their lived experience, but I'll take a stab at it. I can kind of boil it down to 4 general categories. Number 1 is the rather obvious one. It takes away their empathy and their vulnerability by shaming those things out of them, which greatly undermines their ability to form healthy friendships and relationships moving forward. I have a little nephew who, from the time he could speak, was so empathetic, just naturally. He kind of watches everybody with a lot of curiosity, and if he hears you sigh or take a deep breath, he'll say, "Are you doing okay?" Sometimes I just ache for how hard the world is going to try to remove that from him at some point in his life. Studies show parents can't actually do a whole lot to prevent that. It's going to be their peer group. Number 2, patriarchy stunts men's growth and evolution by removing the consequences of their actions from them. When boys or preteens do something impulsive or they act in an emotionally unregulated state, a lot of adults will be there to remove them from the consequences of their actions. Oh, boys will be boys. They don't need a punishment. Our peer group may even reward this dysregulated, impulsive behavior. The consequences are how we learn to regulate ourselves and how we learn to act less impulsively and more thoughtfully. So a teenage girl that maybe she does something in an unregulated state and she lashes out and she faces these social consequences because of it, she may reflect on that and say, next time I'm going to pause before saying something so that I don't lash out, and I'm going to give myself time to process it. And as a result, she grows. Or if she acts out at school and the school comes down really hard on her, maybe she reflects and says, okay, I need to handle things a little bit differently moving forward. But we deny boys that opportunity by constantly removing their accountability. So then they end up being these adults who have absolutely no ability to emotionally regulate themselves. They become these men who just act on their urges or have a hard time refraining from cheating on their partners because we denied them the accountability they needed to grow into a full mature adult. Number 3 is that we greatly limit their self-expression by continually shrinking the box of what it means to be a man. It's an inherently reactive definition because be a man just means don't do anything that women are doing. And when women used to be confined to really small spheres, then maybe this wasn't as limiting for men. But the more that women expand into every sphere of life, every time that enough women step into an area, suddenly now that thing is not masculine. So as women expand their self-definition, the definition of what a man is continually shrinks because it has to fill in the spaces where women aren't yet, where they aren't in high numbers. Number 4, it gets men to value their worth by only their productivity. It says you're only as valuable as you are producing and or willing to sacrifice your life for your country. If you don't do those things or don't do them well, you're not a real man. This is why we saw so many farmers self-unaliving during the Depression because they weren't able to put food on the table and they saw themselves as, not having any value as a human. They thought they could create value by at least giving their family life insurance. Women get the productivity one too, but women also have the path of you can be viewed as valuable as a woman if you're, serving your family, putting them in front of your own needs and or conventionally beautiful. Whereas men pretty much need to either go to war or be productive in order to see themselves as valuable. I'm not saying women only do that, only see them as valuable in that circumstances, although women who are indoctrinated in patriarchy might, but this is specifically the way that men view themselves.